Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises, honors, and glories to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Achakodash. I want to give double honor to the apostles and the elders of great millstone who taught us 100% truth, according to the spirits of be Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Peace and blessing to the hopeful elect out there, pushing His word through the four corners of the earth in true sincerity. Peace and blessing to you hopeful believers out there, which are also part of the elect. To y'all say Shalom. And once again, I want to say, call Halal, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Achakodash. Forgive me the Hara Chakodash, the Holy Spirit, to do the lesson on today. Lord, and the fees, lamb, and sheep of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. So I got a video to the power and spirit of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. And I just want to go into, I was watching this video right here by the elder, right? The elder out there in New York, GMS, Awakening 144, Amawan Gabar, right? And it says, if you're here to be entertained, a lot of terrible shit what happened to you, right? And he made the point, he made the point in the video, I think it's around the 7-minute mark.
It says,
he was speaking about pretty much how essentially, a lot of y'all call us bum, they call us bumalites, and essentially he was saying how we're going to see who money stands, right? Who has real money when the Lord comes back to bring His wrath and destruction upon Babylon and Great America and all the four corners of the earth. And the scriptures speak about that, man, because instantly, right, Proverbs 11 came to mind, which I'm going to pull it. This Proverbs 11 and 4, it says, riches profit not in a day of wrath, right? As a matter of fact, let me get into BLB. I want to see what that word riches mean. Proverbs 11 and 4. I'm going to read the whole verse and I'm going to get that word riches. It said, riches profit not in a day of wrath, but righteousness delivereth from death. You see, so riches are not going to be profitable, beneficial when the Lord comes back to bring His judgment upon the earth. What's going to be beneficial in that day is going to be the righteousness, which righteousness is what? Displayed through the scriptures. You learn how to be righteous according to these scriptures. You see? And essentially having faith in Yahweh Shai and following after His example. Right? So when you get that word riches, right? The word riches, Strong's H 1951 is Hawan. If I'm saying that right. My bad. Hawan. I said it's Hawan. Hawan, and it says wealth, riches, substance, right? And what is wealth, riches, and substance on this side? What does that look like? Well, people, because really, a lot of people don't even have riches, to be honest. Majority of people are below that riches. Most people are like poverty level as far as it comes to making money. But we'll throw riches is referring to the aspect of having a lot of money. So riches is not going to profit in a day of judgment. So you're not going to be able to buy your way out of judgment. You're not going to be able, like they say, money solves a lot of problems because you can buy a lot of shit. No. You calling us bum lights, go get a job, go get the money, which majority of the brothers have a job, especially in GMS. Brothers that have a job in GMS, brothers make a pretty good amount of money in Babylon the Great to sustain their living. And it's essentially the Lord, loading the brothers with benefits to do His will. So we make a pretty good amount of money. Nevertheless, we don't look at that as a way to receive salvation. Okay, we making all this money. This money's going to help me in a day of trouble. No, what's going to help us in a day of trouble is the particular spiritual money we've been storing up, which is faith. That's that spiritual money is faith. All that faith we've been storing up, building up that relationship with our Father through His Son, building a relationship with the big bro. Because when the Lord comes back to bring judgment, pursuant to Deuteronomy 32:39, the Lord, He's the one that's going to bring the killing, and He's going to be the one bringing the deliverance from the death, from the killing. You see? So I'm going to get another one. It's Ezekiel 9. Because what does the Lord have to say about that? As a matter of fact, is it Ezekiel 9? 7, Slacky. What does the Lord got to say about that? Because You calling us bumalites or whatever. You're saying essentially that we don't make a lot of money, so we out of luck, right? Well, what does the Lord say about when it comes to this money? How would it be in the day of judgment, right? This is Ezekiel chapter 7, verse 19. And it says, so like, y'all scroll down. It says, they shall cast, I'm going to read it in the NLT. It says, they will throw their money in the streets, tossing it out like worthless trash. Their silver and gold won't save them on that day of the Lord's anger. It will neither satisfy nor feed them, for their greed can only trip them up. You see? So the Lord saying, read it again, I'm reading the KJV, Ezekiel 7:19. They shall cast their silver in the streets, and their gold shall be removed. The silver and their gold shall not be able to deliver them in the day of the wrath of the Lord Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai. And what's the Lord wrath is really already going throughout the earth here and there, because you see particular people dying. And recently, you just had this fucking kids get mauled by a bear. You see, and you know what that makes you think about? The prophet Elisha. But nevertheless, you had the kids get mauled by a bear, right? They was at a theme park and a grizzly bear came and got their ass, right? So Lord's wrath going out through the four corners of the earth right now. But as the closer we get to the day of the Lord, the closer we get to the day of the Lord, the return of Yahweh Shai, the intensity of his wrath has been increasing and kindling upon the earth. You see? Because in a time of Jacob troubles, man, we're going to see how much that money helps you. I mean, when you watch the movie, when you watch I Am Legend, The Road, Book of Eli, when you watch all these, The Walking Dead, when you watch all these particular movies that kind of give you a visual of how a apocalyptic end time environment of the world will look, and how the people move, people ain't walking around handing out dollar bills. Oh shit, I got this amount. Hey, I got $50. If I give you $50, you'll let me this medicine. No, they're really navigating and exchanging substances. Okay, you got blankets. I'll trade you these blankets for this medicine. Or you want this medicine? What are you gonna give me? And they don't want money. They want food. You see, substance, things of actually value. This money is not going to be able to deliver in that time. What's going to have actual value in the time of the Lord returning is faith, that's what we're storing up. And let me get this real quick. This is Luke chapter 18 and verse 8. I'm going to get straight to the point. It says, I tell you that he will avenge them speedily. Nevertheless, when the Son of Man cometh, which is Yahweh Shai, when he returns, shall he find faith on the earth? So what's going to benefit in the day of wrath is going to be faith. When Yahweh Shai returns, he's going to be looking for faith. He's not going to be looking for money. He's not going to be looking for substance. Oh, I can give you gold, silver. No, he's going to be looking for the ones that have faith in him. That's another thing too. Pursuing Luke 6. I think it's Luke 6 or Luke 4. People going to have faith, but you got to have faith in him. He's looking for faith in him. He's looking for the ones that built their house upon that solid foundation. You see? And that's what we looking at. You see? That's what we storing up. So let me read this other scripture. Right, real quick. I'm gonna close out. This is Matthew 6. Matthew 6 and verse 20. It says, I'm gonna start at 19. It says, lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust do corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. You see? So what are those treasures of earth? The things that a lot of these particular people boast in that's going to help them when all hell breaks loose. The things that they weary themselves in. We weary ourselves in. We sacrifice our life for this ministry, for the will of the Lord. While y'all sacrifice y'all for your own intent for Esau. You see? And those treasures are corruptible. Esau could take them away, and essentially they're not beneficial for you in a time of need. You see? They could be stolen, corrupted. You see, they're not beneficial. They can't help you, right? Verse 20 says, but lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust do corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal. See? Which is what? Put in work in his ministry. You see, adding them bonus points to your faith. That's what it's all about, man. We storing up for ourselves treasures in heaven. You see? And when time come, we're going to have to withdraw from that spiritual bank account. You read about that in 1 Corinthians 6, I think, or 9. Let me get that right quick. I think it's 6. So it's probably 9. Well, it's probably 2 Corinthians. So I can bear with me out. Yep, this is 2 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 6. But this I say, he was sow sparingly shall reap also sparingly, and he was sow bountifully shall reap also bountifully. You see, so if you sow into the Spirit, you know you're gonna receive life everlasting, and also you sowing bountifully. That's you want to be able to draw from that in the time of Jacob troubles. While these other people, they're sowing sparingly. They're not even taking any money out to sow towards the Spirit, towards the spiritual treasures. So when the time comes when they need it, because we read it just in Proverbs 11, righteousness is going to profit in the day of judgment, not riches. So when they trying to withdraw from righteousness, they don't have any. And therefore, like the priest said, we're going to see who's the real broke, who's the bums, when the Lord comes to bring judgment. You see? Did not Scripture say the Lord said, I'll make a man more precious than a fine gold? You know, women flock to the men with the money, but the men that had the real money are the men of the Lord. That's why Isaiah 4:1 will happen. So, Lord, this is edified to the power and spirit of Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai and feeds you lemon sheets of Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai. I'm going to end up by saying, call Allah Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai Bahashim Chakwadash. When they get to be honest with the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. And to y'all, I'm going to say Shalom.